it's Friar Phil. Let's go to New York City. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me again today. We're excited to take a trip. Yeah, that's right. New York City, architecture Skyline, set 21028. Man, this is a nostalgic set for me because I went to New York in high school, my junior or senior year, can't remember. Go Tartan Titans from the St. Paul, Minnesota area. If you're watching and we're on that trip, give me a shout out in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite part of that trip was. We had a good time. If you've ever been to New York, man, tell me what your favorite part is. I've been since then twice. I went to Staten Island, visit friends with my family. We just took the ferry over, saw the Statue of Liberty on the way, walked into the island, and then on the way back. Then once we flew into New York and drove. And that's pretty much it. But in high school, man, a lot of good memories. And so we're going to take a trip to New York today. We're going to build this set. We're going to take a look at it and get it on the brick scale. We've got it, New York City Skyline architecture set number 21028. 5 representations. First is the Statue of Liberty. Next to that, you see the Empire State Building, classic building from New York Skyline. Next to that, you've got the Chrysler Building. We'll talk about that in the detail section of the brick scale. Then the Flatiron Building. It's iconic look. And then the One World Trade Center building. And that is the New York Skyline from Lego. All right, let's get it on the brick scale. First category, build experience. I gotta tell you, sometimes architecture skylines, I've got every one of them except 2, Berlin and Venice. Missed out on those, but I got the other ones. And sometimes these buildings, because of the scale that they're trying to get, it's pretty repetitive, and this was no different. There was one building, the One World Trade Center, had some unique features, but honestly, even though it's nostalgic, this was a pretty boring build, and so I'm giving it a 1 out of 10 for build experience. Our second category is uniqueness. Remember, this is about the number of unique parts, but also uniqueness within the category. So I'm comparing this to the other skylines. And quite frankly, once again, New York City, it's a classic town. It's got classic architecture, but it's kind of drab and boring and basic compared to some of the other great skylines that are out there, the other buildings that you can visit, skyscrapers around the world. And so there is one unique piece, and that is the little mini figure that was used for the Statue of Liberty. That was the first time it was used in that sand green color. But other than that, not that unique, giving it a 1 out of 10 for uniqueness as well. On to category numero 3. That is detail. Now with skylines, there is an element of detail built into the set because it is modeling after an actual cityscape, city skyline, the buildings there. But this had a couple misses in my opinion. The Chrysler Building at the top, it gets the very top part well, but underneath that very top part, the white edges were actually rounded in the actual building. And so I think they missed that detail. Just is flat, straight down. And then the One World Trade Center did a really good job, but I feel it slightly missed the mark. It doesn't look exactly to me as it does in the pictures. And so I'm giving detail only a 4 out of 10 on the brick scale. And our next category is displayability. Once again, there's some built-in points for displayability, because that's what the architecture skylines are meant to do, is to be displayed. And so I'm giving this some points for that. However, like I mentioned already in the uniqueness, it is pretty bland compared to the other skylines. So only a 5 out of 10 for displayability. And finally, playability, folks. This kills me. Last week I mentioned, what Lego set is not playable? This is always going to be a good score. I totally spaced. I was about to review a Skyline. Yep, sure enough, this is not a playable set. This is a display piece. And so I am giving my first ever 0 in any category, 0 out of 10 for playability. And so our total is, 11 out of 50. Not that creative a score on the brick scale. Again, New York City, beautiful city, nostalgic city, classic city. I'd encourage you to visit the city. The set, it's a great display piece, especially if you're collecting all the skylines. However, on my review, 11 out of 50 on the brick scale. It's been fun to take you on a trip. Let me know in the comments what skyline you want me to review next. Again, I don't have Berlin or Venice, but I got all the other ones. Would love to take another trip with you. If you are not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Would love you to join the community. Hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss one video that we're putting out every week. And then lastly, if you've enjoyed our trip to New York City, give it a big thumbs up and let's go to the outro.